But I wanted to start on more of a hopeful note, because this week has been tough, but has also shown that there are a lot of people out there who are fighting back. I'd even venture to say this has been the best political week Democrats and anyone else horrified, know there's a lot of you out there, by the Trump administration and what they've done since Election Day. And what's most exciting is that this energy shift is really being driven by people across the country. Hundreds of thousands of Americans poured into the streets yesterday in communities, big and small communities too, to protest against Trump. While cities like New York and D.C. saw tens of thousands of people, big crowds also showed up in red areas too. Places like Farmington, Maine, in a county that Donald Trump has won in every election. Red Bank, New Jersey, where Trump won the county by double digits. Sedona, Arizona, in a county Trump won by more than 30 points as he flipped the state red again. Missoula, Montana, in a state where Donald Trump won by 20. So red states, blue states, swing states, people everywhere are making their voices heard. And they're doing it at the ballot box too. Because this week also, on Tuesday, the people of Wisconsin delivered a complete rebuke to Elon Musk, shown there in the cheese hat, as he attempted to buy a state Supreme Court seat. I mean, the world's richest man even went so far, and this is what you're watching on the screen right now, as to travel there to campaign with oversized checks and cheese heads. And voters basically sent the message they hated that. That's what they said. Instead, they went out to the polls and they elected a liberal judge by a double-digit margin over Elon Musk's MAGA favorite candidate. And it wasn't even just Wisconsin. Even where Democrats lost in some of the reddest corners of Florida, the outpouring anti-Trump and anti-Musk energy shaved roughly 15 to 20 points off Republicans' November margins in two special elections for Congress there on Tuesday. All of these are good signs. A number of people have also put their hat in the ring to run for higher office recently. People like Javier Becerra in California, Garland Gilchrist in Michigan, who I'm going to talk to shortly, and people like Mallory McMorrow.
We need new leaders, because the same people in D.C. who got us into this mess are not going to be the ones to get us out of it. I'm Mallory McMorrow, and yes, I'm running for U.S. Senate because we don't have a minute to wait. Are you with me?
And Democrats in Washington are also showing some serious signs of life. Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey held the Senate floor for 25 hours and 5 minutes. He broke the record of segregationist Strom Thurmond, that must have felt good, and reminded Americans that someone is standing up for them in Washington.
What kind of man is in our White House that makes fun of the disabled, who lies so much that the fact checkers lose count, that minimizes the pain and the suffering, where you have cabinet secretaries that are billionaires themselves that say, if my mom misses a Social Security check, but if somebody else complains about it, they're probably a fraudster. These people are not fraudsters. They're hurting. They're afraid. They're worried. For God's sake, this is America.
That was after he'd been up all night, by the way. Now, clearly, a lot of people were hungry for somebody in Washington to do something like this, because on Booker's TikTok account alone, the live stream of his speech got over 350 million likes. His YouTube account had 110,000 people watching him live as he finished the speech. And his office got over 28,000 calls. And his speech sparked, I have to say, more attention and coverage than anything else Democrats in Washington have tried since Trump took office. But other Senate Democrats joined the fight this week, too. Senator Adam Schiff placed a hold on the nomination of Ed Martin as U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C. Senator Ruben Gallego pledged to do the same to block Trump's nominees for the VA in protest of Trump's plans to slash jobs and jeopardize benefits. Senator Maria Cantwell spearheaded a bipartisan push to have Congress take away Trump's power to implement tariffs. And Senate Democrats convinced a handful of Republicans to join them in voting to suspend tariffs on Canada. I'm not suggesting this is enough or that it will stop all the damage. It won't. Republicans still run both the Senate and the House, after all. Donald Trump's still sitting in the Oval Office. Elon Musk is still there all the time, too. But these are all steps in the right direction as a part of the opposition. And also this week, some of the biggest names in Democratic politics stepped back into the fray. Former President Barack Obama spoke to a crowd at Hamilton College in upstate New York on Thursday, calling out just how outrageous the last few months have been.
Imagine if I had done any of this. Let me just, I just want to be clear about this. Imagine that. Imagine if I had pulled Fox News' credentials from the White House press corps. It's unimaginable that the same parties that are silent now would have tolerated behavior like that from me, or a whole bunch of my predecessors.
That sounds right to me. And former Vice President Kamala Harris made a rare public appearance as well, also calling out organizations who aren't meeting the moment.
There is a sense of fear that has been taking hold in our country. And I understand it. But we're saying people stay quiet. We are seeing organizations stay quiet. We are seeing those who are capitulating to clearly unconstitutional threats.
So this week showed the Democratic Party still has a lot of life in it, for anyone who doubted, and maybe you didn't, but it showed that. And yes, there are plenty of reasons to fear the actions of the Trump administration. I don't think anybody is suggesting otherwise. But what's important is people are standing up to it at all levels. People are making their elected officials listen. There's a lot of work ahead, of course there is, but those are all steps in the right direction. Something Cory Booker also acknowledged after his speech, too. In a post on Blue Sky on Wednesday, here's what he wrote. After getting some rest, I'm in awe of everyone who continues to lift their voice and speak out. This is a moment for our country, and we must make a choice about the America we want it to be.